everyone. In this video, I'm going to show you a very quick demo of the GUI or the graphical user interface of Vantage, our latest state-of-the-art RF monitoring product. The first page is the dashboard, where you can see a summary of the health status of the site and Vantage itself. We have summary of the health of the channel groups, RF performance, antenna, external inputs, and also the internal Vantage status, whether it's healthy or not. Apart from that, we have the alarm history for the past 7 days. So if everything is okay on Vantage at the moment, the user might want to check the status for the past 7 days. TX Monitor is the second page in the graphical user interface of Vantage. The first tab is Live Status, where we can see all the configured frequencies, the name of that channel, radio protocol, and the live forward power and VSWR or return loss values. It also shows the last time the channel was active and the current status of the channel. All the configuration is done also from the same page. If we click on a particular channel, we can see the live chart with the current status of the channel in terms of the forward power and the VSWR or the return loss. This shows the status of the channel in the past 30 minutes, 15 or 5 minutes. If the user is interested in older history data, they can go to the History tab, where they can see the status of channel in the past 24 hours, past 7 days or last 30 days or even further back in time. Alarm profile is where we can configure the alarm thresholds for the forward power and reflected power. RX Monitor is where we can monitor the status of the receive system. We have the composite RX levels per port on Vantage, but on top of that we have also the channelized measurements per channel. We can configure the frequency, radio protocol, we can assign names to channels. We can also measure the noise floor per channel, and the last time the channel was active, and the current status of the channel. One of the things that has been added inside Vantage is the ability to monitor the TDMA time slots in terms of power level for TDMA technologies like Tetra, P25 Phase 2, and DMR. If the user is interested in older history data, they can go to the History tab, where they can see the historical power levels on the receive channels, as well as the noise floor and utilization. Alarm profiles is where we set the alarm thresholds for the composite RF level, and also per channel RF level and the noise floor. We have a dedicated page for adjacent sites inside Vantage, where we can configure frequencies of the adjacent site. So if you're talking about a multi-site network where there are multiple sites and there is only one Vantage at the dominant site, there is the possibility to monitor the status of the other sites from that dominant site. This is especially helpful if we're talking about a trunking network where there is a downlink control channel that is always active. And if we have Vantages at every site, we can effectively map the coverage, because in the real time, we can see the signal level coming from adjacent sites from every site in that network. Accordingly, we can see the history of the signal levels from the adjacent sites, and we can set alarm thresholds based on those signal levels. We have some advanced tests inside Vantage that can be set up and viewed from this page, RF tests. So at the moment, there are 3 tests that can be done by Vantage. Antenna isolation test, which measures the isolation between the TX and RX antennas. And since there are 3 TX and 3 RX ports, the isolation can be measured between any pairs of these antennas. The second test is the receive preselector characterization. Using the inbuilt signal generator, we can plot the frequency response of the receive system, including the receive filter. And effectively, this can be a very helpful tool to give us an indication of any fault in the filter or the receiver multicoupler, like the filter detuning or drift. And lastly, we have the TX carrier suppression test, which measures the suppression provided by the receive filter on the TX frequencies. Vantage has up to 4 external analog digital inputs and also alarm relay outputs. In this page, we can configure these inputs and outputs, and we can also see the live status of these inputs or outputs. Similarly to the other pages, there is a history tab where we can see the history of the status of these inputs and outputs, and there is an alarm profile tab where we can configure the alarm thresholds accordingly. The alarm page shows the current active alarms on the system as well as the historical alarms in the system. You can go back in history for up to 24 hours, 7 days, last 30 days, or even longer using the custom option. In the notification page, the user can configure how they want to be notified based on the alarms. The default is that you can get notifications for all the alarms with any severity, and the user can select whether they want to get SNMP traps or trigger a particular relay output. We can also choose to get notified only for major or minor alarms or for a particular types of alarms like VSWR or RX levels. And you can also select your notification targets, the SNMP server or any particular relay outputs. Vantage has an accuracy of -+1 dB. But in order to get this accuracy, the user has to calibrate the unit when they install it on site. The calibration is done from this tab here, and it's done separately for TX and RX ports. And finally, the settings page. This is where the user can see the current status of the system, the hardware version, the software version, as well as the serial number. In the user management tab, the user can change the username and password, and also they can select their preferences in terms of the units of measurement, whether they want to see dBm or watts for power measurements, whether they want to see VSWR or return loss for reflected signal, and also they can select between Celsius and Fahrenheit for temperature measurements. In the configuration tab, we can configure the network settings, including the IP addresses, date and time settings, the SNMP server settings, as well as the security settings such as the HTTPS. There is a maintenance tab where we have options to export configuration from a particular Vantage and also import an exported configuration file into this unit. We can reset the configuration, we can do a full configuration, full factory default, and also the firmware upgrade is a very easy process. The only thing the user needs to do is to download the latest firmware from RFI's website. They can drag and drop it here and the upgrade will be done in a few minutes. System health shows the status of the Vantage itself. If there are any internal faults or alarms, they will appear here. Thank you very much for watching this demo video. If you need any further information about Vantage or if you need a more detailed demo, please don't hesitate to contact us. You can also visit Vantage's page at RFI website to download the specification sheet, user's manual, latest firmware, and all the other relevant documentation.